Now at 6, new leadership for the Hokies.
When he realized he would likely not be the next coach, he wanted to move on.
What led to the decision?
Yeah, I feel bad for him, but Fuente didn't do the job.
And the 2 questions that remain.
Plus, winter is almost a month away, but for weeks, your local weather authority has been preparing the forecast for scenes like this. Just how much snow we could see this season.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm John Carlin.
And I'm Rachel Lucas. Brittany McGraw is off tonight. A major coaching change for Virginia Tech football.
After 6 seasons, Justin Fuente is out, and a national search is now underway for his replacement.
Today, the school's athletic director announced that due to lack of consistency and identity, they couldn't guarantee him another year as head coach. So he decided it would be best to leave immediately rather than finish out the season.
I was just raised to unconditionally support coaches 100% until the day you can't. And it just got to a day that I couldn't do it anymore.
10 Sports reporter Eric Johnson is working for you tonight. He's kicking off our live team coverage. He's in Blacksburg to show us how the fans are reacting. Eric?
We are seeing a warm-up, which I think a lot of people are ready for.
Yeah, I stepped out the door this afternoon, and after the cold weather that we've had, even when it was sunny, it was, Jeff, it kind of felt nice outside today.
It's going to feel even better tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Jeff. Well, a decades-old Roanoke hotel that's been in disrepair now set to be torn down. This is thanks to a grant from FEMA. The city will get roughly $3.5 million to purchase the Ramada Inn, and will have to cover then about $1 million more to tear it down. One of the big concerns is its proximity to the Roanoke River, which has caused that site to flood several times.
Once it comes so quick.
New at 6, a local coffee shop is expanding. The Roasters next door, better known as R&D, will be opening later this month at Vineyard Station in Vinton. The co-owners, who are also brothers, opened their first location in Wasena back in 2019. They credit their customers for their success.
We learned how important that community was.
Sounds like it. The new R&D location will be on the corner of Washington Avenue and Pollard Street. Your local weather authority often gets asked, what's the winter going to be like this year? And sometimes that question comes as early as the summer.
Exactly. We always want to know about the snow.
Snow.
Well, now is the time. Jeff and the gang have been working for you to put together a one-of-a-kind winter outlook.
And good evening, and thank you for joining us for 10 News on this election night. I'm John Carlin.
I'm Brittany McGraw. There are still ballots being counted here in Virginia, but tonight some of the new leadership in the Commonwealth is starting to take shape. Tonight we have team coverage of the top races across Virginia. 10 News reporters McKinley Struther and Annie Schroeder are in Northern Virginia tonight, bringing us updates from the race for governor.
And here closer to home, Tim Harfman and Sydney Jackstimer spent the day watching the Virginia House District 12th race in the New River Valley. But before we get to them, we're breaking down the results that we know so far. And, of course, we'll continue to keep you posted throughout this newscast should anything change there. Meanwhile, former Governor Terry McAuliffe trying to keep up the momentum over at his watch party. And 10 News reporter McKinley Struther is live there tonight in Fairfax County. McKinley, McAuliffe has already spoken to his supporters tonight. And we'll be talking to Dr. Ed Lynch about that very thing coming up. Meanwhile, turning now to the showdown for the Virginia House District number 12. This race catching a lot of attention today after police pulled over the incumbent, Chris Hurst, last night after his passenger allegedly tampered with campaign signs. 10 News reporter Tim Harfman spoke with the challenger, Jason Ballard. And Tim, despite all the controversy, Ballard is wanting to focus on other topics tonight. We're continuing to follow breaking news tonight, right now at 6 o'clock, after a 24-hour search and thousands of you sharing his picture on social media. Our cameras were the only ones rolling as this woman was arrested in connection with the abduction of Noah Trout.
Because of you, Noah gets to rest peacefully this evening under the watchful eye of his parents.
Tonight, we have live team coverage across Southwest Virginia, both from where he was taken in Giles County to where authorities were able to safely find him in Allegheny County. Thank you for joining us for 10 News at 6. I'm Lindsay Ward.
And I'm John Carlin. We want to go right to Allegheny County first, where 10 News is the only station there at the trailer park where Noah was found. In this video you'll only see on 10 News, authorities arrested 44-year-old Nancy Fridley, charging her with his abduction.
10 News reporter Annie Schroeder joins us now live in Clifton Forge. Annie, you talked exclusively to someone close to Fridley.
We're following breaking news out of the city of Roanoke tonight. A 21-year-old man is dead after a shooting last night, and another is hurt after a shooting this afternoon. 10 News reporter Annie Schroeder spoke exclusively with the Roanoke City Police Chief about this uptick in shootings. Annie, what are his plans to address these crimes? 10 News reporter Lindsay Kennett joins us live. She's in Roanoke tonight. She's been following the story all day. Lindsay, how did this little girl make it? Breaking tonight, a report is released after a 5-month investigation highlighting allegations of racism at Virginia Military Institute. 10 News reporter Annie Schroeder joins us live. She's in the newsroom tonight to break that report down for us. Annie?
We are once again in your town in Appomattox, and this is a place that played a major role in the Civil War.
And 10 News anchor John Carlin is in Appomattox. And John, walk us through some of that history.
Oh, I would absolutely love to do that. In fact, I am standing right in front of the house where history was made. This is the famous McLean House, and inside the parlor, inside this building, is where the Civil War came to an end. But I remember actually being here back in 2015 for the celebration of the sesquicentennial for the end of the Civil War, and then there were people just everywhere reenacting, and reenactors actually showed us what it looked like when the generals inside signed those documents. There was a reenactor for General Ulysses S. Grant and Robert E. Lee, and they reached the terms of the surrender, and then they simply got on their horses and they returned to their respective armies.
This country has spent 4 years in a massive slaughter.
And that, of course, was the late Dr. Bud Robertson from Virginia Tech, one of the most revered voices ever on the history of the Civil War. And he and I got to stand around and talk a little bit about everything that happened around me here in Appomattox. And, you know, one of the things about the way the war ended is that generals decided that those who had horses could keep them, because Grant even told the southern side, the Confederates, that he knew that they would need their horses for spring planting. So they wanted them to go back to their homes, they wanted them to resume their lives, and they wanted the war to come to an end. So, but it all happened right here in Appomattox. Now let's go to Jeff.
We're back in your town. Tonight's stop is in Floyd County. And of course, we can't talk about Floyd without the Floyd Country Store. And that's where we find 10 News anchors John Carlin and Brittany McGraw. Guys, always a good time there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is. And it's all, I mean, the music hasn't even started yet tonight, and people are already streaming in. You can see folks having their dinner here behind us, and of course there's shopping going on.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I don't know if you can see it.
Gifts. I love candy.
Yeah,
there's plenty of candy to pick from. The cafe is in here.
Good regional stuff. I've got my eye on a T-shirt over there. It says Buffalo Mountain, and it's got elevation 3971.
Oh,
good looking stuff. Yeah, and that's kind of got John written all over it. But you know, right now you see us in the cafe here, but on Friday night, that's when the big event happens. That's the Friday night jamboree, and we can show you some video of what that looks like, with all the people coming in and they're flat-footing, and this place fills up with people. They're dancing to the sounds of local bluegrass.
The Country Store is known as a cornerstone in Floyd County. A version of the Floyd Country Store has existed since 1910, and staff here say it's the community that has allowed the store to thrive.
I think that the Country Store is probably made what it is by the people that come here and play music here. And people from all over the world stop in on road trips to see what it is that makes it so special.
So I'll tell you what, we just switched positions a little bit. There's the famous Floyd Country Store stage right behind us. It is COVID times, Brittany, so they've had to add on, and tonight's jamboree will not be on the stage behind us.
That's right. Tonight's show will be at the backyard, which is an open green space that is behind the store, but still going to have great music, still going to have dancing, and just a fantastic time.
Yeah, we went down just a little while ago, and they're putting out a little bit of a dance floor, and all the musicians, except for a few who are tuning up here now, are getting ready, and they'll be playing outside tonight because of the most recent caution because of COVID. So midweek they decided, you know what, nice weather, we'll move it out. But
yes. Did you bring your dancing shoes?
Yeah, no, I did not. Did you?
I did not. I have on flip-flops.
Yeah, see, so that's not going to work out so well. But I'll tell you what will work out is we're going to be showing you some other areas around Floyd as we go through our early newscasts.
All right, Lindsay, we'll send it back to you.
77 years ago, Operation Overlord was a go.
The rockets landed pretty close to the hospital, and the beds were bouncing on the wards.
With a heavy toll for one local town.
We learned of the Bedford boys, and that was an emotional experience that forever changed our lives.
On June 6, 1944, 160,000 Allied troops landed on the beaches of Normandy, France. This massive invasion ultimately led to the end of Hitler's dream of Nazi domination.
But 2,500 American service members died that day, including 19 men from Bedford, a town that suffered the greatest loss per capita.
In tribute to that sacrifice, and so that it is never forgotten, visionaries undertook the building of all of this, the National D-Day Memorial.
And now it's been 20 years since that dedication, 20 years since President George W. Bush came to speak, since Bob Slaughter saw his vision come true, and since thousands of veterans came here to see it in person. Bedford, Virginia, now 6,000 strong, is very alive today. The tears have been shed, and the stories have been told. And 20 years ago, Bedford hosted the world at the dedication.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Leanne Necessary.
And I'm John Carlin. It is a reverent day here at the National D-Day Memorial for its dedication. We heard from military leaders from Britain and France, and from Bob Slaughter, the man who captained the memorial project from the outset.
We had about 400 yards of flat sand to cross. I mean, most of the A Company got on the beach, but then when they got down on the sand is when they got clobbered.
I remember taking it all in from atop a scissor lift, looking out over the men who had earned this memorial.
Wall-to-wall coverage that we put out is...
I recently reached out to my then co-anchor, Leanne Necessary Brownlee.
It was just such an amazing event. It was just a sea of veterans, and just amazing. The emotion, the gratitude was just there.
My name is Frank Reese Mays.
Frank Mays of Amherst County took it all in from the ball turret of his B-17 and later survived an unheard of 35 combat missions over Europe.
We went through the heaviest concentration of anti-aircraft fire I ever yet seen. Traces and flak explosions were so thick that it looked impossible to get through without being hit.
And even as we were doing our broadcast, Air Force One brought President George W. Bush to the Roanoke Airport.
There was a lot of excitement at the airport that day. For me, it was the first sitting president I've ever covered. He got off the plane, he waved at everybody, and we were all excited to be part of the D-Day dedication, even though we weren't in Bedford.
I think one of the things that stands out to me is how he pointed out that there was no better place for this memorial than Bedford.
A very special and heartfelt farewell to a Virginia State Trooper is being shared all across social media tonight.
First off, I'd like to say I'm blessed to work with all of you. Secondly, after 37 years, but you won't be off duty for fun.
Oh, he got emotional. Master Trooper Allen got emotional during his final sign-off after nearly 4 decades of service. And then a colleague responded.
1385, thank you for your 37 years of dedicated service to the Virginia State Police and the citizens of Virginia. 1385, enjoy your retirement, sir. You've earned it.
Wow, that's nice, right?
That is so special.
Allen was assigned to Area 2, by the way. That's the Culpeper Division.
Enjoy retirement. He deserves it.
Well, people in emergency services have a great way of doing that, and just something about doing it on the radio.
I know.
Just resonates.
It just puts a little bow on it, and they always get emotional.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. I don't know if there's like a 10-4 version of that for retirement, like 10-32, enjoy your retirement, something like that. Still ahead.